Hello, friends. Today, we're going to dive into a super interesting story. It's about a very, very clever thief. But what happens when he meets someone who is even more clever? Let's find out in A Question of Trust.
People have two different sayings about thieves. One is, thieves always help other thieves. But another one is, only a thief can catch another thief. Which one do you think is true? Well, this story is going to help us figure it out.
Okay, it's time to meet the main character of our story. His name is Horace Danby, and believe me, he is a man with a big, big secret. So to everyone who knew him, Horace seemed like a good, honest man. He was great at making locks, but secretly, he wasn't completely honest. You see, he loved to read very special, old, and expensive books, and to buy them, once a year, he would rob a safe. Just one. Now, Horace was what you call meticulous. That's a big word, isn't it? It just means he was super, super careful. He planned every little thing so he would never, ever get caught. He paid attention to every tiny detail. So, since he was so careful, how did he plan his big robbery? Let's take a peek into his plan to rob a big house called Shotover Grange. This was his big job for the year. Wow, look at his plan. First, he watched the house for 2 whole weeks to learn everything about it. He waited until the family was away and the helpers went to the movies. He even knew where they kept the key outside. And to make sure the dog wouldn't bark, he learned its name was Sherry. He really thought of everything. And what was he hoping to find inside? Jewels, worth a lot of money, £15,000. With that, he could buy all the special books he wanted. And you won't believe how he knew where the safe was. The people who lived there put pictures of their house in a magazine, and the magazine article even said, "The safe is hidden behind this painting." Can you believe it? Horace thought, well, if they're that silly, they don't deserve all those nice things. So, Horace is inside the house. Everything is going perfectly according to his plan. But then, something happens that he did not plan for, and it was all because of a little tiny sneeze. Can you guess what made him sneeze? Flowers! He was allergic to them. There was a big bowl of flowers on the table, and they tickled his nose so much that he let out a big achoo! And just like that, he wasn't quiet anymore. And because of that big sneeze, someone heard him. A voice said, "What was that?" Horace turned around and saw a young lady standing there. He thought, oh no, it must be someone from the family. Now, what do you think happened next? Did she scream? Did she call for help? Nope. Instead, they just started talking. It became a game of who was smarter. The lady just smiled and said something really strange. She told him, "I have always liked the wrong kind of people." This made Horace think, hey, maybe she's like me. Maybe she won't get me in trouble. And then she told him a story. She said, "I need to get my jewels out for a party tonight, but I forgot the number to open the safe. Can you please open it for me?" She was asking the thief for help. How funny is that? Horace was so happy she wasn't calling the police, he wanted to help her right away. So he agreed. And right then, he made a huge mistake. To open the lock, he took off his gloves. Oh no. So Horace opened the safe, gave the lady her jewels, and went home feeling so lucky. He thought he got away. But really, the lady had played a big trick on him. The next day, Horace was happy. The day after that, he was still happy. But on the third day, knock, 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 a policeman was at his door to arrest him. Why? Well, because when he took off his gloves, he left his fingerprints all over the safe. And here is the biggest surprise of all. Horace told the police, "But the lady of the house asked me to open it." But then the real owner came, and she was an older lady with gray hair, not the young lady in the red dress. That young lady was another thief. She tricked Horace into opening the safe for her, and then she ran away with all the jewels. Poor Horace ended up in jail. And guess where he works now? In the prison library. So he is surrounded by books, just like he always wanted. But he's not free. All because he trusted another thief who was much, much cleverer than him. So let's go back to our first question. Do thieves help other thieves? Well, what do you think? Horace learned a big lesson that day. There is no honor among thieves. The lady thief didn't help him at all. She tricked him. What a story.